Hello dear listeners and welcome back again for another video of Export-Import Management. In this video, I have brought a new topic for you, that is export documentation. But before we move ahead, let us understand that what else topics have we covered in the previous video in Export-Import Management. In the previous video, we have understood the concept of international market selection. Now, beginning with a new topic, export documentation. Before I start with the video, let me introduce again, that is, I am Dr. Neeta Vaidande from Commerce Department, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Export documentation. Now first, understand trade documentation. When you talk about trade documentation, it signifies both export and import. There are different set of documentation for export trade and import trade. Export documentation involves certain documentation requirement that is necessary for smooth conduction of export trade. Documentation is an integral part of international trade. Therefore, it is necessary for the exporter to maintain the set of documents required for smooth process and conduction of trade activities. Now, why it is required? Here, when you undertake export, the parties belonging to international trade, that is exporter and importer, both belong to different geographical areas. It is necessary for both the parties to maintain those documents, because if they fail to do this, they may undergo certain complexities and problems. It may also lead to severe litigation issues. To avoid that, it is necessary for the exporter to maintain all the set of documents and comply with rules and regulations. What is the role of export document? Why are they required? Documentation plays several purposes. It is necessary to maintain the documents for several reasons. Now let us understand them one by one. Export documentation plays a very vital role in international trade because it facilitates smooth flow of goods and services across national frontiers. Exporters are also required to maintain the set of documents, reason being it is necessary for them to avoid the complexities which may also make them indulge into litigation process. Each of these documents serves several purposes. Say for example, there are custom documents, there are transportation documents, there are shipping documents. So the exporter should have a proper information and knowledge about all the documentation specified as per the system. A clear understanding of all those documents are essential on the part of the exporters, that is, how many set of documents are required, where to prepare, how to submit, where to submit, etc. This may help the exporter in conducting the export activities very smoothly. Export document also help the government to maintain the database of exports and imports throughout the year. Documentation in India has evolved a great deal of interest since 1990. Prior to 1990s, documentation was manual and also lacked proper coordination. The result was delay, mistakes, and making it more clumsy and tiresome. The exporters were indulged into several kind of problems. But after 1990s, documentation in India was become very smooth, as well as India adopted ADS, that is Aligned Documentation System, in the year 1991. ADS is an internationally accepted documentation system. Yes, it is a fact that exporters need to know the documentation requirement. He should also have the knowledge of export documentation, but the fact is export documentation is a complex process. Reason being, there are several parties who demand different set of documentation, and it is advisable for the exporters to take the help of shipping and forwarding agents to obtain, maintain all these documentation system in a precise manner. Moving further, let us understand the classification of export documents. Export documents are classified into 4 categories: commercial documents, regulatory documents, export assistance documents, and documents required by the importing country. Export documents are those documents used by the exporters to discharge the respective legal and other incidental responsibilities under sales contract. Commercial documents. Commercial documents are further classified into principal commercial documents and auxiliary commercial documents. Principal commercial documents are those which helps in physical movement of goods from the exporter to the importer and realization of payment by the importer to the exporter. Under principal documents comes commercial invoice, packing list, certificate of inspection, certificate of origin, bill of lading, etc. Now, what are auxiliary documents? Auxiliary documents are the base documents on the basis of which principal commercial documents are made. It involves pro forma invoice, shipping instructions, insurance declaration, shipping order, maid's receipt, etc. Principal documents and auxiliary documents falls under commercial documents. Now, let us understand what are regulatory documents. Regulatory documents are those prescribed by various government departments or bodies to fulfill the formalities of law governing export transactions. Regulatory documents involve shipping bill, port trust copy, vehicle ticket, receipt of payment of port charges, and so on. Export assistance documents. These are the documents which are required for claiming assistance under various export assistance measures or scheme. Currently, these refer to drawbacks of customs duty paid or packing credit facilities availed by the exporter, etc. There are some documents which are also called as documents required by importing country. Some importing countries, they insist on submission of certain set of documents, for example, certificate of origin, which specifies that the goods are made or origin of that particular country. Now, let us understand all these export documents one by one, beginning with commercial invoice. Commercial invoice. Commercial invoice is a legal document that says there is a sales transaction undertaken between the exporter and the importer. The commercial invoice is one such document used by the customs in determining custom duties. Therefore, commercial invoice is known as a very important and the basic documents in export trade transaction. The other document is packing list. Packing list provides the details of number of packages, quantity packed in each of them, the weight, measurement, a detailed description of the goods that is being exported. Packing list serves a more logistical purpose that emphasizes on physical description of good being exported. The other document is certificate of inspection. Certificate of inspection is issued by inspection agency, that is EIA, Export Inspection Agency. It is issued by the agency after a physical examination and verification of the quality of goods being exported. For this, the exporter has to apply to EIC regarding getting the goods inspected. After few days, the Export Inspection Agency sends few officials to the exporter and gets the goods checked and examined. Thereafter, the Export Inspection Agency issued Certificate of Inspection. Certificate of Insurance. One cannot avoid insurance while exporting the goods to international market because international trade is full of risk and uncertainties. Therefore, the exporter has to apply to the insurance company for insuring the goods. After an application given by exporter to the insurance company issues insurance certificate to the exporter against a policy. Bill of lading. Bill of lading is another document which is very important and it is also known as a legal document. Bill of lading is a legal document and it is issued by the shipping company to the exporter. It is a contract that specifies that the shipping company is going to transport the consignment of the exporter to the destination country. It acts as a piece of evidence for the carriage contract. Bill of lading is also known as a document of title to goods, and there are various types of bill of lading, say clean bill of lading, closed bill of lading, through bill of lading, stale bill of lading, etc. Certificate of origin. This is also a very important document and few countries insist on submission of certificate of origin to the exporter. It serves as a proof that the goods are origin and manufactured of the same country where the exporter is mentioning in the commercial invoice. Importing country usually requires this to be produced at the time of customs clearance of import cargo. It plays a very important role in computing the rate of import duty in the country of import. And the other document is shipping advice. Shipping advice is a document, is an instruction given by the exporter to the importer regarding shipment of the consignment. It contains all the details of ship, the date of dispatch, date of arrival to the importing country, etc. It is an intimation of shipment given by exporter to the importer that allows the importer to arrange for delivery of the same time. These are certain set of documents which are used in export trade. In another video, we will have a look over import documents. Till then, have a good day. Take care.